What's up, Beyond the Harmony? So here's a link that was sent to me twice in 1 week by two different people. So it says it's from Brain Ghost in the year 2018 February. So this is actually almost like right out of 2017. Props to Rob E-Rob for sharing all this on BTNH board. There were a few songs on Art of War that had each member doing the chorus before their verse. Body Rot was like that. They had all their own version of the hook. Wow. There are a lot of alternative versions of Art of War. They still exist, and we have those versions. Strictly for My Grind was originally No Shorts, No Losses. That definitely still exists. If you noticed, it has that Creeping on a Come Up vibe to it, which a lot of E1999 was recorded during Creeping on a Come Up. There are quite a few songs that still exist from the Ruthless albums that were unreleased. The songs like Artillery Shop, 'Cause We Easy, Gangsta Street were all songs written for Eazy-E by Bone. Okay, let me just look at that real quick. It's saying Strictly for My Grind was originally No Shorts, No Losses. So that explains what Cold Blooded sent me today. Cold Blooded, if you're listening, yeah, man, pretty cool. Now I know. And props to you for being on top of this. And then as far as Artillery Shop, isn't that on the Leatherface Legends album? And the original Artillery Shop, didn't Unique say that became Thug Love?
So I went in there and I always kept this one reel that I did for Easy, this one song that had we called it Artillery Shop, and it was for Easy's project, and Crazy Bone wrote it. Yeah. And I said, damn, man. So I grabbed the reel. I remember the engineer looking at me like, man, are you serious? I said, yeah, man. I said, I think this is the perfect, you know what I'm saying, time for this song right here. Brought it in and put it on the 2-track, man, and I started bringing the parts real slow. I remember bringing the parts, and I had all my favorite like horror movies off in there. I don't know if you really knows that. I had like a little bit of Halloween, a little bit of Friday 13th, had all that in there. So I'm bringing everything up slowly. And Pop just like listening, and then I bring the beat in, and nigga like rocking to the beat, and then the last thing I unmuted was the gunshot. I say that for laugh. Yeah. I turned it up before I hit the mute button. I turned it up, and I hit the mute button. The gunshot went, man. That nigga went crazy, bro. Yeah. He's like, oh, nigga, he didn't want to hear nothing else.
But as far as 'Cause We Easy and Gangsta Street, has anybody heard those? Have they been renamed? I know some of these original titles become songs, so somebody fill me in on 'Cause We Easy as well as Gangsta Street. And if I'm wrong about Artillery Shop, let me know. All right, let's keep going. That was another one recorded during the Uni5 titled No Competition. There's a snippet on YouTube as Mind of a Master. Sorry, I just zoomed in. Full song features at least Flesh and Lay. It's a Bone song. The original he was playing was originally recorded for Uni5 about the original It Will Be Alright not being a Crazy Bone solo song. That Pray on Our Knees track, if you had the full of that, then you'd know that the track is not titled that, and it is longer and features other members of Bone in that song. It was recorded during Resurrection. Wishbone has been confirmed. Cocaine is also on a version of Sweet Jane, which had the OG beat and a Wishbone verse on there too. Days of Our Lives intro was the opening to the Art of War CD2 on the original masters that Lazy has. Don't Stop, Won't Stop is actually a Lazy and Crazy song. Oh No is a Uni5 cut titled Lyrical Execution. Can't Catch a Break is Lazy and Crazy, and the title is Born to Make Mistakes, about tracks from the Snippets Crazy Bone posted 2011. There are two versions of that song. However, there isn't much difference between the two, but the beats are somewhat different. The second version is sort of slower. The track was originally going to be part of the Strength and Loyalty album, but they changed it up and decided not to go with that one. They were going to make a version for Flesh for a mixtape that they were going to throw out back during the Uni-5 era about I Ain't Satisfied. There are a few slow ones like that recorded during Thug Mentality 99. Some of the ones I remember are On and On, chill-ass vibe to the song. Blast Away, just like the Busy song. Cray says Blast Away, fuck rapping. Just Cruisin', this is a very smooth and has a jazz blues type vibe. Welcome to the Ghetto, very smooth track. This isn't the one from the PJs soundtrack. It's a completely different song. Matter of fact, in the hook, he says, we off to the ghetto. And of course, there are a ton more. Just can't think of the titles right now. By the way, this is a pretty amazing article so far. Actually, it was for the Armageddon soundtrack and also originally had Mariah Carey in it as well. I personally know the producer of that song. He's a good friend of mine. About Armageddon from Thug Mentality 1999. Waiting for Never has 3 verses by Crazy Bone, which now we know that that's true. It eventually came out on Fixtape 2. Can't Stop Us is a Thug World Order cut. It's in the Thug World Order sessions. There's a few versions of that song too. I remember Can't Stop Us was recorded the same time as Secret Agent Man. It's literally on the same reel, which both were recorded for Thug World Order. And as we know, that album was originally titled Independence Day. Thug Music Plays On was also in the Thug World Order sessions along with Fast Money and some Thug by Nature sessions too. But if I remember right, Ruthless is the ones who gave that song and Up Against the Wall for the Down to Earth soundtrack. Which, by the way, Up Against the Wall was way different. Lay really killed that song. It has alternate verses by Lay and is dope as fuck for sure. A few things that are not leaked. All the Way, OG version. Bone Bone Bone, OG. Bad Weed Blues, OG. Can't Stop Us, OG version 3. Cleveland is the City, version 2, OG. For the Love, Young Thugs, OG. Young Thugs, version 2, OG. Pump Pump, OG. Not That N-Word, version 4, OG. Rock the Beat, OG. Secret Agent Man, OG, version 4. Sweet Jane, OG, featuring Cocaine. Making Good Love, OG, dirty version. No Love for the Law, OG, version 4. They Don't Know, version 2. Intro, version 3, OG. There are some more, I just can't think right now. They are 2 different songs. Thuggin' the Most, which has about 4 different versions, is a different song from Gotta Be. Yes, version 2 of Take Charge is a way better version than the leaked version. It has a guitar in it too, and Cray is on the hook too. Lazy actually did 2 songs produced by Dre, assumingly Dr. Dre. Frontline Warriors was recorded during Resurrection. The sessions I got are with those, and it has things such as OG Battle Zone, Show 'em, Change the World, All Around the World, and a bunch of other Resurrection songs. Let's see if there's any replies. What the? Wait a second. Waiting for Never is a full track with 3 Cray verses? What a shame he didn't release it. I bet we can't really imagine how many classic Bone tracks are still unreleased. And I think I got a snippet of the track For the Love, but I can't share it. The person you shared it with told me that I can't leak it to the public, and I really want to post it so badly on my YouTube channel. It's 1 minute 20 minutes long, 1 minute 20 seconds long, and got that vintage crazy sound style. Could be a Thug Mentality, Thug on the Line, or Thug World Order cut. I don't know. That was from Ganji. Now that first clip again, it was by Brain Ghost. He's the administrator. This is on bonethugsandharmony.boards.net. And obviously Waiting for Never did finally come out, so I hope that Ganji is happy. Now, Brain Ghost looks like he does a follow-up here. He's replying, and he says, yeah, man, I go nuts thinking about it sometimes. I hope Lost Archives 2 really is on the way. Oh, okay, that's nice for you at least, and it's not this one? And yeah, Lost Archives 2, here we are in 2024. He wrote this in February. Actually, February. So right now, we're in February. So that was exactly 6 years ago. 6? Yeah, I think 6. 24 minus 18. 4 minus 8. I can't believe I can't think right. Yeah, that's 6 years ago. So 6 years ago, we're still waiting on Lost Archives 2. All right. AK says, can't lie, it really irks me knowing this kind of stuff is just sitting around collecting dust when the fans want it so badly. So many things could easily be done. Drop more Lost Archives volumes. Start a FundMe page. So many fans have said a million times they'd donate and support if they gave us what we want to hear. That means gems. 90s golden era gems. Don't hype us up about gems and then drop Lost Archives, which contained 75% stuff we already had. Shaking my head. If they don't want to do any of that, then just leak them for free. Makes no sense to let them sit. That's the worst thing you can do. Do it for the fans. This stuff should have been released over a decade ago. This is ridiculous. Think about it. I mean, like, why would you sit on all this music for 30 years? Hopefully they got something big coming. Prince says, yeah, yet what actually got released on Lost Archives Volume 1 was disappointing when you consider all this info Rob shared on what they have available. But I could only assume there is legal issues with releasing certain material. I ponder the possibilities of Bone and Ruthless working out a deal, or maybe Bone as a group could get together and purchase their catalog from Ruthless. Properly re-release their albums as special editions with bonus discs of cut songs. Wow, that's a great idea. Alternate versions and video footage of the recording process for each album. We've seen hints of much unseen footage. It would be cool to get DVDs released in volumes from each era of their albums. Kind of like the Collection Volume 1 VHS has some Art of War footage. How great a DVD of all the Art of War behind-the-scenes studio and full live performances from the Art of War tour. You know, reading that made me think of how we got spoiled. We got spoiled when Bone was on Ruthless. You know, getting that Bone collection, it was a VHS packaged with a CD, was the greatest thing I could think of that ever happened in music history. That coming out, I was like, bro, Ruthless is reading my mind. So, you know, had Bone stayed with Ruthless, we still probably would have gotten fed all this nice stuff, because they came out with Bone Collection Volume 2. They came out with a double disc greatest hits. They even gave us THUGS. You know, all that's from Ruthless. Of all the stuff people say, oh, freaking Ruthless, it's like, no, hey, Ruthless was giving us all this stuff. They funded, between them and Sony or whoever was bankrolling Mo Thugs 1 and 2. We got that Thug TV, which that was even more phenomenal. The fact that, you know, when I got Bone Collection Volume 1, I was like, wow, this is really nice. Ruthless did this. And then getting Thug TV, I think it was in the same year. I couldn't believe it. I was like, dude, this is the greatest. I can't believe this. So, yeah, we got real spoiled, and we've been whining for the last 25 years that they're not. Although, look, this is the other side. People keep saying, yo, we want the unreleased stuff. When's Bone going to make new stuff? And it's like, hey, guys, mathematically, if you look at it, they've released at least one album per quarter every single year for as long as I could count. Now, there's some, on average. Now, there's some years, like the mysterious 2012 and 2014, where there's only one release that year. But on, other years, Lazy put 4 albums out in 1 year and then none the next. But if you average it out, it's one per quarter. So Bone is constantly giving us more music. It's just not from the era we want. But not only that, actually, if you think about it, we even got that special delivery, the Fixed Tape Volume 3, and we got the Unified prequel, what was it called? The Untold Story. So even there, we essentially got the cuts from the albums. And then, in ways, the rest of the cuts kind of wound up on some Lazy Bone albums, and Flesh and Bone Blaze of Glory, and a couple other albums. So theoretically, we are kind of getting these unreleased. But I know what the people are going to say. They're like, no, I don't really want Strength and Loyalty cuts. I don't really want Thug World Order cuts. I don't want the World's Enemy cuts. I want Art of War era, Resurrection era, Creeping on the Come Up, Eternal era. But that guy did have an awesome idea, though. Imagine getting like a re-release, like a 30-year anniversary of Eternal, and have it packaged with Creeping on a Come Up and all the cuts and all the soundtrack songs for Eternal and all the cuts and variations. Problem is, compact discs, they only have a maximum capacity of 79 minutes and 57 seconds. You could then say, yeah, that's why we want a double CD there, Johnny boy. Yep, indeed, you're right. Actually, what would really be cool, because we already have Eternal, we already have Creeping on a Come Up, it would be amazing if they came out with a disc that was all the tracks that weren't on Creeping and that weren't on Eternal during that era. Because I think there's enough to fill a full-length CD. Problem the record company is going to say is they're going to be like, you guys really still buy CDs? But yeah. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what else we have. AK. Yet what actually got... Okay, I think that's just the... Well, yeah, that's how it should be done. But it's been 20 years now. All the other groups, artists from the 90s already released all their stuff they had stashed and made money off it. Since Bone can't figure it out, the fans have suggested starting a FundMe page so we could all pitch in and get the music. Plenty of people, myself included, are interested in pitching in. Some people are willing to put up quite a bit of money. If I knew we were getting the stuff we actually want, I'd probably pitch in at least $100. The longer they wait, the harder it's going to be to get fans to put up the money or support the project if they put it out themselves. If they did it a decade or two ago when these sites were jumping, it would have been better. Now, they've lost half their fan base due to all the BS and lack of music. If they don't want to work something out money-wise, then they could just release it. As long as they don't make a profit, they can't be sued. At least their fans would be happy. I'd rather pay for it, but they don't seem to want the money. They'd rather run off and make another mixtape with AC Killa. Damn, I just stumbled across this again. This was Brain Ghost about 5 months later. Every time I read about all these unreleased tracks, I go nuts. You see, this is why Robbie Rob is a moron. This is AK talking. He makes a post like this talking about all the unreleased music there is, how much of it he has, yet we get all bullshit on the Lost Archives. He seems to know what's been released and what hasn't. So how didn't he know we already had a handful of songs that made the album? So how didn't he know we already had a handful of songs that made the album? If you ask any fan if they'd rather have... This is exactly what I was saying. If you ask any fan if they'd rather have unified cuts, remixes, or have cuts alternates from Art of War, I'm sure 99% would go for the Art of War stuff. I'm not denying these songs exist, or the other points he's made, but Rob has lied about a lot. It's hard for me to believe anything he says. Well, lied is kind of a strong word. He definitely wasn't fully truthful during the Lost Archives fiasco. I remember after one of the 35 pushback dates we got, he said it was because they had to go to court and get the rights to the music in order to release it. He said that they won, and not only will they be able to put out the Lost Archives, but they will be able to easily release more unreleased music in the future, more Lost Archives volumes, etc. When the album finally came out and wasn't even close to what was promised, he said it was because they didn't have the rights to the stuff the fans wanted. And then AK says, as you could tell, I feel strongly about the subject. Dre 2K, AK, yeah, I remember the frustration back then. It kind of feels sad that there are so many songs that fans would love to hear and probably pay for. I would pay $50 for Waiting for Never itself. I'm wondering what the purpose is to release snippets of really good songs, but not selling them as a full product. AK points upward, says, it doesn't make much sense, does it? Put in your time, you put in your blood, sweat, and tears to create music just for it to sit there and collect dust? I could understand some songs maybe keeping to yourself for personal reasons, but they have so much unreleased stuff, it's just silly. Wicked Bone 99 says, I think and feel like their logic has always been to have all the stuff sitting in the vaults so that once they pass on, their kids can sell them and live off of them. I truly think that is their master plan. AK says, to the above, who's going to be buying Bone music at that point? How much money do you think they're going to make? Think of how much they sell now compared to what they sold in the 90s. Do you think that is going to incline or decline in the next 20 to 30 years? It doesn't make sense to hold on to them. Once we're gone, who will be buying Bone Thugs? Even now, they make their money off of touring. Wicked Bone 99, hey, I feel ya. I'm on the same boat. But both Cray and Biz have made comments that I can remember where they say something like that, how they're setting up their kids for the future with the music they have stashed. The Mog says, earlier this week, Busy mentioned they still don't own 100% of their masters. And he's got a link. You know, I was just watching a Busy Jam TV where he says now in 2024, he still doesn't have his masters. So, you know, with all that said, here we are as Bone fans. We didn't create any of this. And Busy was talking about it in 2018 like you guys. And Busy's still talking about it in 2024 like we are. So in essence, Busy's in the same boat we are. He's like, hey, I want those songs too. Be nice. And, you know, we still don't have Sons of St. Clair, right? Think about how long ago Sons of St. Clair was supposed to happen. And I don't know what the deal was with Future Shock. I don't know what the deal was with that Bone reality show during the Bone for Life era. I don't know what happened with that Fleshbone comedy show with Andy Dick. There's a lot of stuff. You know, if somebody could compile all of the announcements that never happened and send them to me on Facebook, I'll make a video about it. Just so we could have it all centralized. Although I suppose it would probably work better to have a post. And I know a lot of people have tried to kind of gather all that together. Mostly it's like songs, right? But I think videos, I think a lot of people want to see Sons of St. Clair. I think a lot of people, and it's a shame, you know, like I'm pretty sure that would have helped out New Waves. Here's another thing. I don't know if I misinterpreted what Busy said when I was talking to him back in 2017. It was during the cycle that New Waves kind of just came out, right? I mean, it had been out for a couple months. And he said that I think he said that they had intentions to make music videos for every song on the New Waves album. We did get 5. And I don't even think, when I was talking to him, I don't think Change the Story or Bottle Service came out. I think only the first 3, Coming Home, Heaven Had a Cell Phone, and Fantasy. I think those were the only 3 that had videos at the time. And then later on, Bottle Service and Change the Story came out. Wouldn't that be interesting, though, if they did film videos for all that stuff? Also, there's that theory that there's a music video for Mo Murda, and some even think there might be a video for another song on Eternal. So I don't know if you guys ever heard that theory. But anyway, I just wanted to read this because this was sent to me by 2 members of the Beyond the Harmony staff. And yeah, this was a pretty interesting article to read. I don't know how they stumbled across this because I didn't see anything about the clean version of Eternal on this. But anyway, hope this had some entertainment value to you. But anyway, on behalf of Cecil West, Matt Weaver, R.C. Thugsta, and Jordan Corey, I am Jonathan Lippy, and you're listening to Beyond the Harmony.